Review in basic algebra. We will evaluate the given expression negative 3s squared minus 12 divided by t when s equals negative 2 and t equals 4. So first, what do you think our first step? Okay, very good. We are going to substitute. So s is negative 2 squared minus 12 divide our t is 4. So as you can see, we only substitute the value of s and t in our expression. Now, the next step is we are going to simplify all the exponents. So you have negative 2 times negative 2 is, very good, positive 4. When you multiply two negative numbers or two negatives, you will have positive. Minus 12 divided by 4. Now, asa may mag-una? Mag-multiply ta? Mag-subtract? Or mag-divide? Okay, very good. We will multiply first. This is negative 12 minus 12 divided by 4. In this case, we will divide first. So, always remember that we will divide or multiply first. It depends upon kinsay nag-una. So, do not forget the left to right rule. It doesn't mean na you always do multiplication first. Depende na siya kinsay nag-una. If nag-una ang division, of course, unahon din mo ang division. Sunod pa ang multiplication. So, in this case, nag-una man ang multiplication. So, we are doing multiplying first. So, in this case, we will have negative 12 divided by 4. That is negative 3. So, we will have the answer of negative 15. So, this is our answer for this expression. Evaluate the expression negative 2/3 m plus 3/4 n cubed when m equals 6 and n equals 2. So, we have negative 2/3, m is 6, plus 3/4, n is 2 cubed. So, the first thing to do, you have, since this is another term and another term, so we can directly evaluate this. So, you can also do cancellation method here. So, 6 divided by 3, that is 2. So, what will happen? You just multiply. You will have negative 2 times 2, that is negative 4. Plus, so you have 3/4. This is cube. So, you multiply it 3 times. 2 times 2, 4. Times 2, that is 8. So, in this case, you can also do cancellation. 4 divided by 4, that is 1. And 8 divided by 4, that is 2. So, negative 4 plus 3 times 2, which is 6. Since unlike sign, if it's unlike sign, are you going to add or subtract? Very good. You're going to subtract. So, we will subtract 4 and 6. So, you will have 2. Now, what is our sign for 2? Positive or negative? Positive. That's correct. Since 6 is greater than 4, so we will have positive. 6 has greater absolute value, no? So, our answer is positive 2. Simplify the expression 5a squared minus 6b squared plus 7a squared minus 9b squared. The first thing to do is to identify the like terms. When can you say that it is like terms? When the variable part is the same. So, as you can see here, a squared and a squared. Therefore, 5a squared and 7a squared are like terms. The same with negative 6b squared and negative 9b squared. Since you have identified the like terms, you can now directly solve or simplify. So, in this case, both are positive, positive 5 and positive 7. So, you can add it directly. So, 5 and 7, that is 12a squared. And our sign is positive. negative 6 and negative 9, both are negative, so we will add. So we will have 6 and 9 is 15. And you will have negative as a sign. So our rule here, if it is like or same sign, if it is same sign, what you're going to do is simply add and copy the sign. Okay, so simply add then copy the signs. Same here, we simply add 5 and 7, which is 12. The sign is positive, so we copy positive. Pwede rani na ay butang ni mo positive or wala. Kaya naman siya sa unahan. Now, in this case, same sign, which is negative, so we simply add 6 and 9, and that is 15. And then we copy the sign negative. Okay, so that's how you answer this one, and a little review of your algebra. Simplify 3 over 8w plus 1/2 minus 1/4 w minus 2/3. So, combined like terms. What are the like terms here? 3 over 8w minus 1/4 w plus 1/2 minus 2/3. So, these two terms here are called variable term because, as you can see, naa sila'y variable. While these two terms is called constant terms. So, to solve this one, we need to find the LCD or the LCM. LCD, least common denominator. LCM, least common multiple. So, the LCD here is obviously 8. So, 8 divided by 8, 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Times negative 1 is negative 2. W. So, in this case, our LCD here is 6. If two denominators are prime numbers, you can directly multiply it, and that is already the LCD. 2 and 3 are prime numbers. So, 2 times 3 is 6, so that is the LCD already. So, you have 6 divided by 2, 3 times 1, that is 3. 6 divided by 3, 2. 2 times negative 2, negative 4. So, addition pa na ang nadiri. So, you have 3 minus 2 is 1 over 8. W. That is 3 minus 4. This is negative 1. So, negative 1 over 6. So, that is how you solve or simplify this expression. Again, our review here is, if two numbers or two denominators are prime numbers, you can simply multiply it directly. You can multiply it directly, and that is already the LCD. So, same here, 2 times 3, both are prime, so you will have 6 as the LCD. If it's not a prime number, both are not prime numbers, you cannot, well, you can still multiply it directly, but that's not the LCD anymore. It's the bigger number. Somehow, in some cases. Okay, so that's how to simplify this expression. Simplify the expression 4 times the quantity of x plus 3 plus 2 times the quantity of x plus 1. If you still remember the properties, let's try to check. The first property we're going to use to solve this one is the distributive property. So, 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3, that is positive 12. 2 times x, that is positive 2x. 2 times 1, that is positive 2. Now, let's identify the like terms. In this case, you have 4x and positive 2x. Is there any violation if ako siyang rearrange? There is no violation, and it's what we call commutative property of equality. So, if you still remember, unsa na siya ang commutative property, that is a plus b is just equals to b plus c. So, Magka-interchange na sila, same lang gihapon. So in this case, we will now combine like terms, 4 and 2, that is 6x, plus 12 and 2, that is 14. So you have the answer already. So this is our answer. Little review of the distributive property. So this is distributive property. And this is commutative property, where you interchange or reorder. Meaning the arrangement of the terms will be just the same. So, yung output the same lang. Okay? We are done with evaluating and simplifying expression. Now, let's have this one. Can we consider this an expression as a whole? Okay. Now, this is not an expression already. This is what we call an equation. What symbol ang nakaingon ani nga this is an equation? Okay, very good. Because of the equal sign. So, because of this. So, this is an equation, not an expression. So, mas advanced ni siya kay this is already an equation. This is an expression. This one, this alone is an expression. But when it is already equated to another expression, so this is an equation. So, let's try to solve the value of t. So, we can now combine this one. Both are same ilang variable, so we can combine it directly. And so happen, the fractions are similar, so we can directly subtract the numerator. So, 2 minus 1, that is 1. You just copy the denominator 3t equals negative 2. Most of the instances, we simply divide it by 1/3 so that we will arrive with t. So, 1/3 divided by 1/3, it's 1. 1 times t, that is t. Now, in this case, you have negative 2. In dividing fraction, this division becomes multiplication. And find the reciprocal of the denominator. This one, our denominator is 1/3. So, that is 3 over 1. So, our t is negative 2 times positive 3, that is negative 6. So, we have the answer. There's another way in solving this one, and much faster. 1/3 t, this one. Do you still remember the multiplicative inverse? Okay, very good. When a number multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, multiplicative inverse. When a number multiplied by its multiplicative inverse, the answer is always equal to 1. So, example, kag 1/2. What is the multiplicative inverse? 2 over 1. When you multiply that 1, it will arrive with 1. It's always 1. Since our objective here is having the coefficient of 1, the t having the coefficient of 1, thus, we can simply multiply this by its multiplicative inverse. The multiplicative inverse of 1/3 is 3 over 1. So, in an equation, kung unsa imong buhaton sa left, mao sad imong buhaton sa right. So, we multiply this by 3 over 1 to keep things balanced. So, since both are, or this number is a multiplicative inverse, so 1/3 multiplied by its multiplicative inverse 3 over 1, so we will have 1 as the answer. So, we will have 1 times t is t. So, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So, you have the answer already. So, you can divide it both sides by 1/3 or multiply it by its multiplicative inverse. The solution is shorter, thus it is faster. So, that's how you solve if your coefficient, numerical coefficient, is in fraction form. That's it. Solve the equation. 2 over 9x minus 3 equals 7 over 9x plus 2. So, the first thing to do is, we will combine like terms. So, you have 2 over 9x and negative 7 over 9x. Now, there are a lot of questions like, same na ko sa una. Nga naman, if we will transpose, positive becomes negative and negative becomes positive. What do you think is the reason? So, I questioned that when I was in your time. Now, the reason is this one. Actually, it is additive inverse. So, we have many inverse, no? Multiplicative inverse, and one of it is also additive inverse. So, additive inverse, since ganahan nimo makancel si 7 over 9x diri sa right hand side, what you're going to do is to subtract negative 7 over 9x. So, imo siya i-subtract sa 7 over 9x. So, what will happen? Makancel na ni siya, ma-0. Now, in this case, in an equation class, it should be balanced. Kung unsa imong buhaton sa left-hand side, imo sunang buhaton sa right-hand side. So, nag-minus mo kag 7 over 9x diri, so there, mag-minus ag ka og mag-minus ag kag 7 over 9x. So, lain sa dong minus og negative. So, dili na siya sakto. So, minus 7 over 9x. Okay, so that is the reason why. I hope it is clarified. Nga nung inig-transfer ma opposite sign. So, actually, this is the reason. So, equals positive 2 here. Now, negative 3, when you transpose, it becomes positive 3. It's simply the additive inverse. So, the additive inverse of negative 3 is positive 3. Since nag-add kag 3 din mag-add sa kag 3 diri. Now, negative 3 and positive 3, that is already 0. So, makancel siya diri sa imong left-hand side. Let's do this. So, same siya like fractions. You simply copy the denominator and simplify your numerator directly. So, you will have negative 5. So, negative 7 and 2, that is negative 5. Why is it negative, class? Okay, good. Because 7 is greater than 2. And so, siya may dako. So, negative man siya. So, negative atong 5. Do not forget x. 2 and 3 is 5. Now, what you have learned earlier is you can multiply this by its multiplicative inverse. So, we'll just multiply that by its multiplicative inverse, which is 9 over 5. And it's negative 9 over 5. This one is equivalent to 1 already. So, a number multiplied by its multiplicative inverse is always equal to 1. 1 times x is x. And since nag-multiply man tag negative 9 over 5, we also have to multiply negative 9 over 5 on the other side. So, we do cancellation. Can cancel this one. So, what is left is negative 9. So, that is our answer sa kaniya equation. So our topic here is simply additive inverse, and we also have multiplicative inverse. Okay, so our next is, this is a introduction, no? You need to know this before going to problem solving in algebra. We have this topic, you can guess, translating verbal expression into class mathematical expression. Okay, this is important, very important for you to understand, to grasp quickly problem solving in mathematics, sa tong problem solving sa algebra. So we need to know translating verbal expression into mathematical expression. Let's have addition first. So in addition, we have an example here. 5, example lang, 5 more than x. How will you translate this verbal expression to mathematical expression? 5 more than x. Okay. Anyone? That's correct. Very easy. X plus 5. 5 more than x. Dili na siya 5 plus x, no? 5 more than x. So that is x plus 5. So, kuan siya, bali siya. Instead of writing it 5 plus x, it is x plus 5. How about here, this one? The sum of w and 3. How will you express that in mathematical way? Okay, very good. W plus 3. The sum of W and 3. So, kung ano ni, sum and niya. So, you just simply add directly W plus 3. Unlike this one, more than X plus 5. How about the total of what number do you like? Ako kay ganahan ko 369 nga number, Tesla number 6 lang, and okay, 6 class, and Z. So the total of 6 and Z, so that is 6 plus Z. And last one for addition is X increased by 7. So, how will you translate that? X plus 7. So, as you can see here, basically, no, ang pare-pareha na ni siya. You just simply add W plus 3, 6 plus Z, and X increased by 7, so X plus 7. Dili lang gid mo magbantay. Basta more than gani, X plus 5. Anyway, if it's addition, somehow, pareha raman kay maybe you have 5 plus x is x plus 5. So, we will just stick on this, x plus 5. So, that is for addition. How about in subtraction? Lang i-down. So, for subtraction, when you say 5 less than y, so how will you express that? That is same here, so you will have, very good ka mga bright, y minus 5. So that's y minus 5. So kani careful gid mo ani class kay most of the time student diri masayo 5 minus y dayon. So may kag 5 less than y, that is y minus 5. Now this is very crucial because it's negative 5. When you say 5 minus y is very not equal gyud siya sa y minus 5. Positive naman niya, negative naman yung y. Unlike here, somehow, ang imuhang 5 plus x, murag, same, ay, okay, sa'yo. Same raman siya. So, same raman siya. So, equal ni siya sa'yo na, unlike man ako. So, ang gamit kong paint class, nag-drawing na ta diri. So, same ra siya. This is commutative property of equality. Now, in this case, careful mo ani. 5 less than y, that is y minus 5. Okay. So, another example is you will have the difference. You have the difference between W and 3. So, unsa man ni? W minus 3. Okay. How about 8? Decrease by A. How will you represent that? 8 minus A. Okay, so that is for addition and subtraction. Now let's have multiplication. So we're done with addition and subtraction. How about multiplication? Okay. So we have here, an example is 3 times C. 3 times C. 3c. Okay. How about the product of 4 and t. The product of 4 and t. Simple result for t. 2/3 of v. Okay, 2/3 of v. Okay, ano lang gyapon? Or 1/2 of x. 1/2 x. Twice x. Twice x. So that is 2x. So that is for multiplication. Now let's have division. Sorry na ta sa division. You have n divided by 2. How will you represent that? N over 2. If you have the quotient of x and 3, that is x over 3. Lastly, the ratio of s to 6, that is s over 6. Okay, so this is for division. This is how you represent. This is how you translate verbal expression into mathematical expression for division and for multiplication. So that is translating verbal expression into mathematical expression. So let's try to translate this verbal expression into mathematical expression. The first one is the sum of 2/3 of n and x. So there is addition here, the sum. So this is 2/3 of n, that is 2/3 of n. Then the sum is the sum. So you're going to add that sa x. So 2 over 3n, or 2/3 n plus x. How about this one? The quotient of m and the difference between x and y. So quotient, that is division, so m over the difference between x and y. So you're going to subtract x and y. So this is the answer. How about the product of n and 4 more than x? So the product, you have 9. So and here, so 4 more than x. So that is x plus 4. And you have the quotient of 3 less than x and x. So you have the quotient of 3 less than x and x. So there is division. So you have x minus 3 over x. So the quotient of 3 less than x over x. Okay, and x. The last one here is the sum of 3 more than a number and 1/2 of the number. So the sum of 3 more than a number. So let's just have x is our number. So 3 more than a number, that is x plus 3. So sum man siya. So you will have plus 1/2 of the number. So 1/2 of the number. So this is how you represent. This is the verbal expression and the mathematical expression. Okay? Review in basic algebra.